be led out by their captain, Peter Nicholson, captain and coach. There they go, through the black and white banner. Should be a magnificent game of football. Second semi-final, Mitcham defeated East Burwood by 9 points. But on that occasion, East Burwood gave Mitcham the jump. They can't afford to do it today, especially in these conditions. And we're underway with the 1992 Commonwealth Bank EFL First Division Grand Final between East Burwood and Mitcham. There's the bounce of the ball. Away they go. It's knocked away there by Kellett. As Hodges doing the ruck, and there they go. They battle for the ball, and the umpire has picked out a free kick. There it's on. Early, well, Tempest getting free early. And the umpire blowing the whistle. Very fiery start. First free kick is going to go to Mitcham. Will be taken by McCormack, the dangerous forward. They're having a shot for goal. No, it's not going to go to McCormack, it's going to go to Polar. Polar, the vice captain. Come in, line up for goal. First score of the grand final. He has. Mitcham, 1-6, leading East Burwood yet to score. Ball back in the middle, there it goes. Mitcham getting the first score on the board. There, let's see what happens here. Ball hits the deck, kicked on. Here's a chance now for East Burwood. So go forward. Kicked on the ground by Ferguson. Knocked forward. Here's a chance. Campbell on the ground. That was by Peters. Close to the boundary line. Good fist tackle applied. The umpire said this one. Holding the man. Here's a kick away. Now Mitcham go forward. Good spoil there on Hodges, the ruckman. They dive on it, and the umpire will call for a ball up. The early stages and final. Mitcham 1-6, leading East Burwood yet to score. Umpire throws in the air, the ruck up against Hodges. They're going to come away with it now. Play grab, and the umpire couldn't see it. The umpire allowed play to continue. There's a good hip shoulder there applied to the East Burwood player, and the umpire will call for a ball up. Picks himself off the ground there. Here's Rick McInerney. It's McInerney. Umpire throws it up again. Gow and Hodges. Knocked away. Who's going to pick it up now? Here's a battle for the ball. Trying to crash through as Hodges with strength. Couldn't do so. Now Mitcham going forward. But the mark is going to be taken there by Carl Hawson. Carl Hawson drives East Burwood into attack. Who's at the back? No one. It's all Mitcham here at the moment as they clear the ball away. Ball comes out in the open spaces. Here's a race for the ball. Can they pick it up? It's close to the boundary line. Play was set upon there is Carl Lawson. And the umpire's going to call for a ball up. Tackle applied there by Randalls. Number 4. Randalls will contest this ruck knockout. With Gow over the back and over the boundary line for a boundary throw-in. Doing battle. There it goes, knocked down. Who's going to come away? Compact form. The umpire is going to call for a ball up. In fact, he's picked a free kick out of this. And it goes out. The kick there, and that was from McInerney. Handball received there from the East Burwood player, and there'll be a boundary throw in. Number 1 is Clegg for East Burwood. The Rover. Kick around the body there by Chapman. Diving there for the ball there is Carl Lawson. Couldn't take it. Packers forming. Umpire letting it go. Oh, Sutherland there trying to ride the bump. Kicked on the ground. Good tackling being applied by both sides at the moment. And the umpire will call for another ball up. Mitcham 1-6, lead East Burwood yet to score in the first quarter. There it goes. Hodges in ruck. Gow over the back. On hands and knees, gets a handball out to Fox. And as the umpire seen this, a free kick will go to Fox. Fox now gets a handball straight on in direction of Carl Lawson. And the mark there taken by Ferguson. Ferguson now centres the ball in. And the mark taken by Nicholson. Nicholson, the captain and coach, the coach drops it in. It's a worm burner on the ground. Who's going to pick it up? They dive on it. And the umpire is called for a ball up. Very muddy conditions here at Boronia Oval. Considering all the rain. This time it's Hodges and Featherstone. Over the back, Randalls. It's going close to the line. Here's a race for the ball. Kicked on there by Mitcham player, Zims, I think. And it's over the boundary line for a boundary throw-in. Clegg there waiting for the crumbs. Featherstone and Hodges. Kellett over the back. Now Mitcham go forward. There's the kick. Chance Gow with the punch. It's going close to the boundary line. In the race for his Trollope. Oh, beset upon. And it'll be a free kick to Trollope. Neil Trollope, very experienced campaigner for East Burwood. Come back to the fold after catching Doncaster early in the year. Here's Trollope's kick. Bombs it up to the middle. Where the pack form, where the scouts, where the rover, no one there. Kick smothered there. But their mark taken by Gow. Gow now. Plays on. There's the kick. Kicks it in the middle. Knocked away. Free kick's been picked out of it. It's going to go to East Burwood. And the recipient of the free kick will be Ellis. Ellis, number 13. Kicks it up to Featherstone. Knocked away from here. Ball on the ground. Hairball there from Polar comes out. And there's a chance now for Mitcham through Chapman. Chapman drops it forward. But taking the mark for East Burwood is the 23. Don't know the name anyway. We'll get back to it. Anyway, ball coming through. It's knocked on. Here's a chance. Oh, heavy tackling has been applied. The umpire letting it go at the moment. And the umpire will call for a ball up. Stacks on the mill. Featherstone gives it back to the umpire. Now he throws the ball in the air. Hodges knocks it down. Good knockout. Taken away by Polar. Now it's Mitcham going forward. There's the kick. Here's a chance. Oh, good defending there by East Burwood. Ball drops through. Can they pick up the slippery ball there? That was the foot kick. And it's going closer over the boundary line for a boundary throw-in. Now McCormack to take this ruck knockout with Gow. Here they go. They jostle for positions. McCormack using his body. Now it comes out now to Turley. Turley now kicks it up now and knocked away by the East Burwood defence for another boundary throw-in. Gow having a bit of a howdy-do there behind play. Now McCormack to do battle with Gow. This time ruck is Randalls who decides to do the ruck work. Gow with strength trying to break clear, but he cannot do so. The field umpire will call for a ball up. Mitcham picking himself off the bottom there. Now Gow and Randalls. Now he's trying to come forward. There's the kick away. It's going close to the boundary line, and in fact it'll be a boundary throw-in. Right, Gow got the knockdown. Player grab, and Fox nowhere to go. And again, it's below the boundary line for another boundary throw-in. Mitcham by 6 points at the moment. Gow and Ruck. Now there's a free kick that's come out to this. And it's gone to Mitcham. It's going to go to Randalls. Randalls has got it, the number 4. Go back and drive Mitcham into attack. Randalls has it options. Goes back, now has a look. Goes for the pass. In fact, it was no good. It was knocked away and a boundary throw-in. Ball comes back into play. McCormack and Gow. McCormack trying to use his body, trying to work it out. And they get nowhere, and the field umpire will call for another ball up. Hand the ball back there is Booty. Cormac and Gow. Cormac grabbed it out. Oh, he got his kick smothered though. Kicked away. He's built defence working overtime at the moment. And there'll be a boundary. In fact, free kick paid to Mitcham. And it'll go to Rossiter. Rossiter has the ball now. Has a go at the sticks. Let's see what happens. Skews it off the boot. Fierce tackling being applied. Gow gets the handball on. And it goes out to McInerney. Here's a race for the ball. Featherston giving chase. And his opponent there in Randalls. And the boundary line's going to win out. And a boundary throw in. Bit of a blustery breeze at the moment. As Gow goes for the knock, and the same result, another boundary throw in. Now on Randalls, knocked away by Mitcham. Finally handball comes out. Here's a chance. Free kick for in danger, they're being paid. And it's going to go to Mutimer has got it. Mutimer goes for the short pass. Looks for Featherston, and it's knocked away there from Featherston and Gow by Randalls, and a boundary throw-in. Gow and Hodges this time, and which way is it going to go? Free kick to Gow. He goes back, picks a dry spot to kick the ball. Now he kicks it forward, looking for Featherston. And good use of the body there by Featherston to take the mark. Tried the Rams into attack. Featherston goes for the short pass. And it's going to come off, and the mark has been taken by Bailey. Bailey now on a short pass on the square, and that was good play for the Rams. He finds Nicholson, who have a go at goals. He goes to play on. There's a kick from Nicholson. Probably poor option, should have went for the shot for goal, but now Mitcham will clear the ball away. Here's a kick from the half-back line. Drops out in the open. Here's a race for the ball. And using a bit of weight there is Chapman, who bundles the ball over the boundary line, and a boundary throw-in. There's a boundary throw-in. They contest. Mitcham player trying to grab it out. Now they chain of handballs. Gow, it sits nicely for him, weaves away. Gow goes for the long kick up there. Oh, nearly good fingertip taken, but Mitcham will tidy up in defence. Kick around the body. Here's a race for the ball now. Knocked on. They still race for it. Can he pick it up? Hot on his hammer. There's the East Burwood player. And now it's finally picked up by Peters. Peters now gets his kick away. Floats up in the air, knocked away from Poynton. But now the handball now. And that was from Ellis, got it on there to Clegg, but it's going to be over the boundary line for a boundary throw-in. Now Gow does battle in the ruck again against Randalls. And it comes out. Now it's kicked away there by McInerney. Ball dribbling close to the boundary lines, a race for the ball. And in fact, out of bounds on the full. Penalty kick will be taken by Mitcham. Only the one score on the board. Mitcham have the one goal. This build yet to score off the hands of the pack. At the drop, here's a chance now for Chapman. Chapman now gets a handball on. Now Mitcham going forward. There's a bounce of the ball. Trying to trap it. There's McCormack, who's tackled. Good tackle applied there by Vukic. But had nowhere to go. And there will be a ball up. Clegg waiting down. It's the ruckman, they do battle. Randalls. Gow in the clinches. And a free kick will go to Gow. Big East Burwood ruckman. Gow Decides to go for a handball onto Carl Lawson. Dribbles along the ground. Here's a race. Right in the centre glue pot they go. Very sticky out there. They battle for it. Doing well there is Mitcham. It's come out to Mitcham and they go forward now. There's a bounce. Eludes that East Burwood player. They try to tidy it up here and it's knocked on for a boundary throw in. Gow and Randalls. There they go to lock arms. Gow knocked it on. Good play. Gets it out to Trollope. Trollope now gets a short pass. And the mark there taken by Booty. Booty drives the Tigers into attack. There's the kick from Booty. Up the half-forward line. Nearly a good mark taken, but it's kicked away there by Turley. Turley now puts it out to Poynton. Will it sit for Poynton? He picks it up now, close to the boundary line, but his kick has gone through for one behind. Mitcham, 1 goal, 1-7, leading East Burwood yet to score. Yeah, doing the kick out from full back will be Vukic. Now goes to the half-back flank. There's his kick. Nice one too. Holds up. And free kick that's gone against Gow. And it's going to Mitcham. There's the kick from Mitcham. Up to the half-forward line. Back, but a good mark taken right across the back there by Carl Lawson. Goes straight down the ground for his kick. Who's out the drop? Finally, Ellis gets it out. The kick there smothered from that Mitcham player. They go in, they dive on it, kicked along the ground, and a boundary throw in. Gow doing battle with Hodges. Hodges got the knock down. Picked up by Clegg. Clegg now kicks the ball into open territory. Here's a chance now. It's all Mitcham at the moment if he can pick it up. Wants support. Gets a handball on. And free kick is going to go to Mitcham. And they'll repel the attack against Ferguson. There's the kick. Nice one too. It's knocked away there by Carl Lawson. But now it's East Burwood trying to mount an attack here. They dive on the ball. Comes out. Here's a chance now for McInerney. Gets it on, but how's the umpire seen this one? There's a mark taken. Tassick centres it in. Had a good pass and finds Cook. Was a match winner in the preliminary final last week. 3 goals in the last quarter. Now Cook centres the ball in. Had a good mark taken for East Burwood. Oh, but what are they doing there? Finally, here's a kick now by McInerney. Ball close to the boundary, close there, and through for one behind. So Mitcham 1 goal, 1-7, leading East Burwood 1 behind. First score for the Rams. Here's the kick out from Mitcham from full back. Looks for the Hodges, but chipping across there is Gow to take the mark over his head. Gow drives the Rams into attack. There's a kick up to the teeth now. No mark taken. Mitcham now clear away, and it's taken by Chapman. Chapman's kick finally draws the play. Handball out now. This is a good play by Mitcham as they work the ball right down the corridor. They battle for it. And there's Mitcham gets a handball on. Chopped out. Some heavy body clashes at the moment. Finally comes out. Clegg weaves around. Gets a handball backwards. They're fiddling around for the East Burwood at the moment. Clegg again is so heavily tackled. Finally, handball comes out. And now East Burwood will drive into attack. There's a kick forward. Mitcham defence working overtime. Coming through is Ferguson. Umpire spotted it though. Free kick. We'll go to Mitcham. There's a handball. Comes out. Now they drive it forward. Here's a chance. 1-on-1 battle. Ball close to the boundary line. Trying to pick up. They overrun the ball. The player there, Sutherland, has grabbed and tackled fiercely there in the clinches. Scooped on, the umpire said a throw. Spotted that. Free kick has gone to Ellis. Ellis now centres it in. Picked up there by Fox. Fox now looking for Gow with a handball. Didn't measure it in the boundary throwing. There it goes. Mark taken there by Slater. And 15-metre penalty against the East Burwood player. Brings him down to the centre. Tries Mitcham into attack. There's a kick. Nice kick too. Up the half-forward line. The climber there, that Mitcham player. And that was Polar. Couldn't hold the mark. Kicked away. Here's a chance for Chapman. Chapman's kicked for goal, but he's missed to the left and through for one behind. So Mitcham going to 1 goal, 2-8. Leading East Burwood 1 point. In the first up. There's the ball. He goes straight down the ground or to the flanks. He has a look. Tries to go to the flank. Here's the kick. The half-back line. Here's a race to the ball. Fox, can he pick it up? Being harassed by Peters. Free kick's going to come out to it. Umpire doesn't whistle advantage here. It's got to come back to Fox. He'll take the free kick. Fox has to go back over the mark. Now he does that. Centres the ball in. The boot laces there, McInerney. Couldn't take it. Good tackle applied by Ferguson. And a ball up. Umpire throws it in the air. Odgers. At the back there, Randalls. Kicked away from Mitcham. There's a race for it. Nearly a good mark completed there by Polar. Couldn't hold it. Clegg at the bottom. Scooped on. Finally a handball. Now Mitcham going forward now. Off the boot. Oh, good mark taken there by McCormick and a goal. Mitcham 2 goals, 2-14. Leading East Burwood 1 behind. Kick off the ground, kicked away there by Slater, off hands. Here's a chance for McCormick, the dangerous McCormick, and it's going close to the line and through for one behind. So Mitcham doing it well at the moment. 2-3-15 to East Burwood 1 behind. Kick out from Verkick up to the half-back line. Here it goes, off hands. Who's there? Clegg diving in. Loose ball comes out. Now they go forward through Chapman. Chapman's kick. And that's going to be through for another behind. Mitcham 2 goals for 16. Leading East Burwood 1 behind. And like the other 2 finals, East Burwood slow starters yet again. Verkick kicks out. Goes to the half-back line. And a nice mark taken by Carl Lawson.
Doesn't shoot it in short. It's marked by Clegg. The umpire said of ladies in short. But in front was Ferguson. Out towards the Mitcham player coming in there. Oh, missed the bounce of the ball, but Hoyton loses it. Picked up by Carlhausen again, playing a great game in defence. It's kicked off the ground by Randalls. Randalls gets the ball over and he shoots it in towards the big fella. He's using his weight. Here comes Polar. Polar gets it in the back. You've got to earn it today, and it's a bounce up in the goal square for the Mitcham side. It's a little bit stiff, but it's grand final football, and I agree with Peter Enright. Here's Peter Enright, the umpire bounce the ball up. They're all around it. Up it goes. It's tight football. The big fella in McCormick used his weight, kicked out of the pack by Polar, but it's through for 1 point to bring the Commonwealth Bank scoreboard. 2 goals, 5. Lead East Burwood, 1 behind. 2 minutes remaining in this term, Jimmy.
Here we go now for the kick coming in from Mario Burkick. And 2 goals, 5, we said on the Commonwealth Bank scoreboard. Not a big lead with this wind as it's flapping the Commonwealth Bank sign around underneath the scoreboard. So quite a bit of breeze there, Graham.
Yes, there is, and I'm sure Craig Brady would not be happy with this quarter.
Burkick sends the ball now. A high kick at Randall's underneath the ball. Does he hold the mark? He does. And not a very good kick, so it must be a very strong breeze there as he's kicking into breeze. Probably gave it a little bit too much height. So should have kept it low, but Randall's now has a chance now putting the ball back over Burkick's head. But he elects to centre the ball now, looking for his big full forward McCormick. Burkick gets the thump down. It's picked up here by Saunders. Saunders will run the ball out of the back line now. He hasn't got many. It's 3-1 here. He's only got his captain coach. They block him, and it's picked up by Mitcham, sent back on attack, and a nice little mark chipped in. No, it goes out of the Polar's hands, over the line, no, out of bounds, as Mutimer plays Polar some close attention, and all the players here right in Mitcham's forward line trying to lock the ball in with about a minute and a half to go. Here comes the ball. Gow wrestles in the pack, so too does McInerney. No one gets the ball out, and the umpire Enright comes in and says, my ball. I'll bounce this one up again, and it's deep in Mitcham's attacking zone here at Boronia, and the grand final here being played between East Burwood and Mitcham, holding the ascendancy at this stage. 2 goals, 5 on the Commonwealth Bank scoreboard, to just the 1 point to East Burwood. Here comes the throw up in the air. Mark Gow gets the punch down, and it goes straight to ground. Nicholson leads over the ball, but nobody can get it out from exactly where it was thrown up, where the umpire was standing. So Enright will have another go to send the ball up in the air, and he runs back a little bit further and sees if we can get any decision from this throw up. Here it comes now. Gow, and across the top of him comes Randalls. It's picked up here by Rex Carlhausen for East Burwood. Paddle off the ground by the captain and Slater for Mitcham. It's thumped. I think the boundary line will claim it here, and it does. As a team of players, no, it says deliberate. And Charlie Kellett from Mitcham throws his head back in disgust, but Steve Ellis, Lester Ellis from East Burwood, will take the leaving kick. As the siren announces on the Commonwealth Bank scoreboard, Mitcham 2 goals, 5 in this first quarter, opening quarter of the grand final, leading East Burwood just to 1 point.
Well, it went about 28 minutes that quarter, Graham. What do you think?
Pregnant Judith doll. Toy Kingdom stores are at Forest Hill Chase, Lilydale, Ringwood North, and at the Stud Park Shopping Centre.
And the ball's been bounced in the centre of the ground. It's been forced out to the half-forward line, picked up by Cook, and Cook forces the ball out on the full, and will be taken in the last line of defence by the
Mel Blake.
Blake kicks the ball in short, picked up by the Mitcham player in Natako. He shoots out wide to the half-back line. Oh, and a great mark taken by the Mitcham player out
Brendan
there.
Polar.
Polar's got the ball. He shoots the ball to the centre wing on the far side. Here's the lead from Randalls, but dropping in front. That hits the ground. Diving on it was Randalls. He forces the ball forward. Going in there's McInerney. He tries to get it out. Then dives on it again. It's tough football. It's grand final football. Picked up by McInerney again. Shoots it out to his Mutimer. Mutimer shoots the ball to centre half forward. In there was the East Burwood player in Ryan McInerney that time. He missed it, picked up again, and he tries to handball, and it's a free kick going to the coach and captain of the East Burwood side in Peter Nicholson. Nicholson at centre half forward. Here he comes. He knows his side's got to kick goals this quarter. He shoots the ball in the centre of the ground. Good positioning, but Darren Peters is in there for Mitcham and takes the mark. Peters at centre half back for the Mitcham side. He's going wide out to the far side of the ground. In there's Nicholson again. He's in front, but over the top of the pack was the Mitcham player. He dives on it. It's a free kick. It's got a Peter. No, it's play on, says the umpire. And now he's giving it the other way, which was Mark Brindley. But Nicholson's touched the free. I thought it was going to Brindley, but Peter ends up with the ball. Peter Nicholson, the captain and coach of the East Burwood side. He'll bring it in the centre of the ground again. Here's the lead from Tassick. Tassick's in there. He nearly pulled down a good one too. The Mitcham player punches it out, going in there hard. Oh, it's good football. Through shoots the ball out with the East Burwood players. Diving on the ball was Slater for the Mitcham side. Shoots it out there, but it's missed on the outer wing by Mitcham. Picked up by East Burwood, and they shoots it into Tassick. And Tassick takes the mark about 20 metres out on a slight angle, but he will score. And knowing Chris Tassick's ability to kick goals, this is a very chance he's got to kick his first for the day.
Calhouse.
Here he comes in, Chris Tassick. Kicks the ball. What's it look like? Stray umpire doesn't even move. Either's the chief, Ferguson, and it's a goal to East Burwood, where the Commonwealth Bank scoreboard reads Mitcham 2 goals 5, lead East Burwood 1 goal 1. The umpire in right in the centre of the ground. They bounce the ball up to get them on the way again. In they come. Big Rogers hasn't been much in this game so far. Rogers diving on it was the Mitcham player, and so was Clegg. Forcing it out was McInerney. Beautiful handball out here. Here's the running players in front. Tassick nearly took the mark. Cook's got the ball. He'll go to his goal. Shoots it in short. Here's Featherstone with a run. Off the ground, Featherstone. But he misses, kicks it, and it runs out of bounds in the forward pocket for a throw-in. That was a bit stiff there, Graham.
Need a soccer player there, Les.
Yes, Maradona's future's not in danger.
Right. 2-5, Mitcham, 1-1, East Burwood on the Commonwealth Bank scoreboard. Here's the throw-in. In there's Featherstone. That's the Mitcham player picked up by Fox. He's trying to force it out. Featherstone goes in again, and the umpire says, give it to me, boys, and we'll ball it up 20 metres out directly in front of the East Burwood goal. A chance to get their next goal on the board. 2-5, leads 1-1. Mitcham's way. Here's umpire Graham Thea. Up it goes. Oh, over the back of the pack was Big Randall. He gets it down to McInerney. Onto the right foot, shoots it in here towards Cook. Oh, in goes the Mitcham player. Taxi's got it off the ground. And it's a goal! The Mitcham to East Burwood by Taxi. Off the ground. Yes, the goal umpire says yes. There's 2 goals, 1. East Burwood. Trail Mitcham, 2 goals, 5. Graham, good football by Taxi.
Last time the two sides met, he's got 2 already.
Well, here we go, back in the centre. It'll be thrown up in the air this time by the central umpire. It's cleared by Mitcham. Darren Peters gets the kick across the centre, and Glenn Thiel tries to mark it, spilled out of his hands. It's a handball across by Gow to McInerney, and a relayed across again to that player down towards looking for Stephen Clegg. Clegg over the ball, slips in a little bit of mud, not too much in his legs as he goes to handball it out. Mitcham, he's tried to clear the ball. Jones in there to assist him, but the umpire says, I'll ball it up. Poor little Clegg, he'd have to go in overdrive to go that mud bob, and the umpire will step back a little bit and throw the ball up. Here it goes. The big fellow, Dale Hodges and Featherstone, competing for the knockout here. It goes to the ground though, and won't go anywhere, and the umpire says, my ball again, as players over the top of it.
Jimmy, the scores at AFL Park, the final scores.
Well, don't tell me.
At quarter time, Footscray, 5 goals to 32, Leeds and Kilda, 1 goal.
Keep those scores coming, boys. Here goes the ball, thrown up and high in the air this time by the umpire. It comes down, knocked out by Hodges, paddled across the pack as everyone has slapped at it like basketball. It's cleared out by Randall's, kicked across towards Mutimer. It goes towards the boundary line now and over the line out of bounds with a throw in at the about the wing position, between the half forward and wing position here. We'll say it's the wing, and in the outer side of the Boronia ground. Here comes the ball high in the air from the boundary umpire. Underneath the ball is again Hodges using his great height, but it's sharked out by East Burwood. It's stolen again, sent across to the forward line. Tassick leading for the ball, and also for shooting is Featherstone. He goes for another kick off the ground. This time it is successful. I'll say yes, it's a goal. So he's taken some lessons from Maradona Jake, and this time he's kicked the one off the carpet.
Yes, Maradona would have been proud of that one. He had it much better. The ball was rolling nice and straight for him in towards the goal, and it was a good kick off the ground. And it's very interesting to note that East Burwood have kicked those 3 goals in only 3 minutes of play, and it took Mitcham the full 28 minutes to kick 2-5.
Did you see the shepherd by Stuart Clegg?
I didn't, unfortunately, Les. I was riding.
A beauty.
Which one, the big foot number 2 or number 1? Stuart Clegg or Steve Featherstone?
Stuart Cook.
I thought that's who you meant. Here goes the ball. It's back to the centre of the ground, thrown up by the umpire, but again the players pounce on the ball. It's still free though, but the umpire says no, it's my ball this time, and they're giving the players every opportunity to get the ball rolling and out into the general field of play, and they're using very clever, sensible tactics, the umpires, and doing a good job to date here in the grand final at East Burwood, and at Boronia, with East Burwood having the very slight lead. Umpire says no, it's across the shoulder as the contest there from the ruck. It's Mitcham will clear through Shane Lundberg. Lundberg goes across the ground now. It's low. It's two buzz. Fox throws himself, hurls himself at the ball, and but tackles the Mitcham player on the run through, and it's the Mitcham player who will receive the ball. Brindley is doing a very good job on that half-back defensive flank there for Mitcham, and he's been picking up Nicholson at times there on that particular spot. But in the meantime, the kick is punched over the line out of bounds on the wing position, and throw it in, says the umpire, and or will it be a free kick? a free kick. It must have been out in the full. So it's Mitcham who has, again, the free kick, and it's sent along the high in the air across the half-forward line, punched in the air. East Burwood come in for the ball. Odgers tries to pick the ball up now like a rover. He gets it across to his teammate, who's housed on well on as he had the ball. And it was a big point, was it? Big point. Yeah. It was tackled. A minute they must have marked this player because every time he's had the ball, East Burwood have really thumped him to the ground.
And these umpires are doing a good job.
They're right on the
missing
spot.
anything.
Absolutely right on the spot. So, and they've got control in their minds, and they're certainly exercising great control. But the Mitcham at this stage will lose this kick, and it goes to East Burwood. And it's coming down the ground now. It's by Fox. Fox sends the ball, but young Ben Natako on the Mitcham half-back line.
Oh, silly boy.
He meant to mark the ball, but he twitched as he did, and he gives the free kick to Peter Nicholson. He got right in the back of Peter Nicholson, and in doing so, Nicholson will take the free. Going right across the forward line now. Two players, Mitcham players, clash heavily in Blake. Arrowsmith has the ball now, and he smothers it, as Ryan McInerney also, and two other players here try to get the ball out, but Arrowsmith makes sure it was locked to the ground, so it'll be a ball up right on the goal line, on the goal square here down the scoreboard end of the Boronia ground, which sees that Commonwealth Bank scoreboard showing East Burwood with 3 goals 1, leading Mitcham 2 goals 5. Using the win better this quarter, it's thrown up at
free kick.
A free kick to East Burwood. Tackle without the ball, he said. It was Jones who had the ball, and it's Stuart Jones, who goes back to take the free. He's well within kicking distance. He's right in front of the Commonwealth Bank scoreboard, and on a slight angle, I say it was 45 degrees. John Polar on the mark, and behind him is Darren Peters and Charlie Keller for Mitcham. And they're watching what this young fellow does now very intently, because this is a very important goal. Jones now moving in. Stuart Jones puts it on the way, and Featherston puts his high arms up in the air, and it's a goal for East Burwood, which takes them on the Commonwealth Bank scoreboard to 4 goals 1. To Mitcham 2 goals 5 here at the Boronia football ground. This is ECB football.
Carry all your handyman's needs. Bowen's Timber and Hardware at Croydon, phone 7230394, and Roval 7637522 are great supporters of ADFL football.
Carlhausen gets the ball knocked down, but the umpire said stacks on the mill, fellas, and we'll ball it up where it was thrown up a few seconds ago. In there's big Rex Carlhausen. No, it's not. It's Gow's taken over the ruck now. Hodges is in there. No influence on the game. Gow wins the knockdown again. In goes Ferguson with Randalls. But coming through there was the East Burwood player, kicked it off the ground. In goes Cook. Beautiful football by the old fella. He knocks it out wide towards Fox. Fox gets it over to McInerney. He tries to get the ball coming in there. Hard was Jones. Jones puts the ball there to Clegg. Clegg handballs over the top to the running player in Bailey. Bailey left foot, shoots towards goals, but just offline and through for 1 point. And the Commonwealth Bank scoreboard reads East Burwood 4 goals 2, lead Mitcham 2 goals 5.
Interesting thing, lads, I reckon in the last 5 or 6 minutes, East Burwood's teamwork has really picked up. They're running a lot better in groups and looking very, very dangerous.
Right, here's the full-back for the Mitcham player to bring the ball back, and the play was Arrowsmith, shoots it up the centre up. It's all East Burwood, and he shoots it in short to McInerney, and it's taken by Paul McInerney. This is at the true centre half-forward position. It's a bit far out to score a goal, but he's got the wind behind him. He'll put it right into the goal square. Where's the Cook? He's out in front of the pack. Here goes the lead from Stuart Cook and Tassick, but it's Paul McInerney going for the big kick. It's a torpedo punt dropping into the goal square. Oh, it's a beautiful goal! And the Commonwealth Bank scoreboard, 5 goals 2, leaders Mitcham 2 goals 5. Graham.
A very vital goal, and a goal that Mitcham need to answer.
Now we're back in the centre of the ground with umpire Enright to bounce the ball up it goes. In comes the big fella and Hodges. He forces the ball to the ground, but it's East Burwood diving in there, and Mitcham push it in hard. Out comes the ball in for the running players, picked up by Randalls, over to the running player in Slater. He shoots it to the half-forward line, and it's a mark by East Burwood. Handballs off to Gow. Gow kicks the ball to the centre wing. It's all Mitcham out there. The Chiefs running out to try to get it, but the ball will be forced out of bounds. No, it's close to the boundary line, and the boundary umpire says, we'll leave it to you, central umpire. It's not out of bounds yet, so ball it up right on the boundary line, on the half-forward line for the East Burwood side. The Commonwealth Bank scoreboard, 5-2 East Burwood, lead Mitcham 2-5. The same number of scoring shots in the second semi-final of First Division. Here's the grand final, I should say. The ball's down. Oh, Nicholson hits it off the ground. Beautiful to McInerney. Handballs over the top. Oh, in goes the Mitcham player hard. In again, hard again. It's good football. Alice from East Burwood was on the bottom of the pack. It's tough stuff kicked out by Nicholson. Here's Cook. Cook's got the ball. Oh, good stuff, Cook. He punches the ball out of the mid-air. In there's Featherston. He's trying to get the ball out of Randall's hand, and it stacks on the mill, and the umpire will run in and ball it up at centre half forward for the East Burwood side. This is good football, Graham. Tough football.
Yes, it is. It's a good game at the moment.
Here's umpire Enright to throw the ball up at centre half forward for East Burwood. Up it goes. In there's Big Hodges. It's forced the ball out. It's in mid-air. It's aerial ping pong. Picked off the centre of the back was Jones. He forced it forward, and it's against Stuart Cook, and it's going to the Mitcham playman Phil Arrowsmith. In the last line of defence, 5-2 leads 2-5 East Burwood's way. Here's Arrowsmith out to the stand side. Oh, this is dangerous. It's dropping in a little bit short from Alice, and it's taken by the Mitcham player in, I think it's Beattie. Yes, Beattie's got the ball. He'll go long. Drives the ball out there. From behind was Carlhausen. He hits the ball in, down from Randalls. Randalls goes in hard, cops one, but the player says go on. Here's Mutimer. Handballs over to Featherston. Featherston over to Nicholson. Nicholson's got the ball on the right foot. A beautiful kick by Nicholson. Here's the running players. It's Mitcham and Tassick. It's running towards goals, but it hits the behind post, and that's out of bounds, fellas, and we'll ball it up on the last line of defence, or throw it in on the last line of defence for East Burwood.
East Burwood have really taken the initiative. They really have. They've kicked 5 in 10 minutes.
Here's the throw in. Here's the big fellas in there. Hodges looks tired. Fox is in there for East Burwood, and it's punched away from Fox by the Mitcham player in, I think it was, we'll look at him, I think it was Arrowsmith. Here's the throw-in on the half-forward line. Here it goes in the big boys again. Hodges is in there. Seems to be a bit short in his action for mine. Here's Stephen Clegg. Clegg's got the ball. Tries to handball it out there. Diving in on top. In there's McInerney and Clegg. And the ball will be bounced up at half-forward for the East Burwood side. This is top EDFL Grand Final football. Here we are. Umpire Enright to throw the ball up. Up it goes. In goes Featherston. Gets pushed out. And the handball that's high in the air, coming through was Clegg. Clegg still got, no, it's not Clegg there. It's the Mitcham player gets the ball out this time. Out towards the running playing when Glenn Theory, I think, has gone on the ground. First time I spotted him. And ball over the top. In goes Randall. He loses the ball. It stacks on the mill, and the umpire says, ball it up. Well, it's the first time I've seen Glenn Theory at this stage. Yes, right. Sorry about that, but I hadn't seen him. Right, here's the throw up on the half-forward line for the East Burwood side. Up it goes, in they go. Big Hodges gets the ball to the ground, and the umpire says, it's against you, boy, you're over his shoulder, and it's going to Gow. Gow comes into the centre of the ground. Cook leads. Look at Tassick at the back. Hits the ball to the ground. It's Mitcham going in. So does Tassick. It gets forced out. Featherston's in there. Picked up by Cook. Cook handballs over the top. Here's the running players again. Bailey. Bailey will come onto the left foot. Shoots it out here towards Tassick. Tassick's in front, but he misses the ball. It's coming towards the broadcast spot. Oh, and they push each other out. And the umpire says, come on, boys, we'll throw it up. And I wish they'd stay there all day. It'd be easy to broadcast. Umpire Enright with the ball right in front of him. There is Lumberg for Mitcham. Here's the throw up, Featherston and the big boy in Hodges. Here Featherston puts himself in front. Hodges gets the ball. Oh, I think in there was Bailey. Good football, son. That's real tough stuff. He was in front of Peters, and there's a blue one down the way there, but we won't worry about that. Enright's got the ball. Umpire Enright, and he'll keep the play going. Up it goes. In goes Featherston. There's goals to be scored. Over the top was Randall. Hits it down to the Mitcham player in Chapman. He shoots the ball, but marked by Mark Gow of East Burwood on the half-forward line. Gow with the ball. He kicks. Oh, look at this kick too. It's a torpedo punt. In front's Tassick. Over the back of the pack. Oh, really a good mark by McInerney. He misses it. It's tough in there. Cook's in there. So's the Peters of Mitcham. But the umpire said, give it to me, boys, and we'll ball it out 15 metres out of goals.
Applying a lot of physical pressure at the moment, East Burwood too, all around the ground.
Right between the goal now. Umpire Enright has this Ball to the bowler. Here comes the ball up, thrown up in the air now. The wrestling continues between Odgers and it gets out to Bailey. Bailey has a snap kick at goal, goes across the face of goal, one behind on the Commonwealth Bank scoreboard, which now sees Eastwood 5 goals 3, leading Mitcham 2 goals 5. And I think that's 33 points to 17. So we're giving the actual points these days, and it's the lead of 16 points, is it?
8 minutes to go, Jim.
8 minutes, 16-point lead to East Burwood, using the wind better. Here comes Arrowsmith to return the ball now from the kick in. Featherston is a target across the top, it's punched out of his way. A kick off the ground by Big Dale Odgers. It now is relayed out of that defensive zone. Beattie has the ball now. Martin Beattie puts it on the boot, runs through the centre of the ground. Underneath the ball is all East Burwood. Neil Trollope gets a short chip kick on the ground though. It doesn't travel very far. Punched out by a player who's actually on his stomach on the ground. East Burwood relay it through Jones now. The umpire blows the whistle, play on as a call. Fox over the top of the ball, infringes with the Mitcham player, and the Mitcham will receive the free kick. It's Darren Peters who takes the ball and on the half-back line. Now it's a skipper, Brad Slater, who take the ball, elects to go right across the wing. Nicholson's out there too, but Mitcham do get the kick, and leading for the ball is punched out of by the East Burwood defence though, and it's coming across now. Mitcham have Polar has the ball. They're a big long kick in the forward line, very rare time they've gone in the forward line, but it's picked up by them, and a free by Peter Enright was on the spot. He was up there and he spotted a free, and it's the big Mick McCormick, the former Donvale full forward, playing in his first season at Mitcham, and a very accurate kick for goal too, this big man, and he has the ball in front of goal. So Enright was right on the spot to adjudicate that decision, and the ball being relayed back to big Michael McCormick now. It takes his time, this is the set-up time, comes in now, takes a few little steps, puts the ball, a very much needed goal this one. The wind is holding it up. Will it get there? 1 point. It just faded at the last moment, and it's 1 point. Jake.
Very difficult to kick goals down that end. That was a free kick was given for in the back as the ball came down, and again Spooky.
2 goals 6 now for Mitcham on the Commonwealth Bank scoreboard, to trailing East Burwood 5 goals 3-33. The ball is relayed back in the centre of the ground. It doesn't go too far. It's on the half back line for East Burwood, or the half forward for Mitcham, whoever you support. And players, a heap of players now, not too open this forward line, and the umpire will pull it up. It's gone a few metres, probably about 45 yards out from goal on a slight angle. Here comes the throw-in, electing to do the throw-in because the turf is not too predictable in the bouncing. Here comes East Burwood trying to relay the ball out, but Mitcham retaliate and send the ball back in the teeth of goal. Flying in is Glenn Thiel, and also Vukic there for East Burwood, and punches the ball over the line out of bounds, through for 1 point. And it's Darren Peters, who's also using his body very well in front of Vukic, trying to keep that ball to play, but 1 point is the result, and there for Mitcham, 2 goals 7, 19 on the Commonwealth Bank scoreboard, to 5 goals 3 East Burwood. The ball back by Mario Vukic, big long mark, attempted mark by Randalls, and Odgers shoots the ball now, but Nicholson has it for East Burwood, throws it on the boot, comes deep into the forward line, and the umpire says relays the kick down. He saw an infringement, and they're right in the job, these two fellas. They're right in the spot when these decisions are made, and it's Nicholson who takes the kick. He sends it across to the forward line looking for Stuart Cook, and Stuart doesn't upset him. He doesn't let him down. He takes a good mark in front of Arrowsmith, and he's on the right on the boundary line, the half forward line, or the forward pocket actually. He centres the ball now, punched by Mitcham defender in Mel Blake. It's cleared again by Arrowsmith, teaming very well, these two, and looking for the big Dale Odgers as the target, but Nicholson, the handball to Cleggy. Cleggy puts it on the boot now, looking for McInerney, finds Paul McInerney at the centre half forward position. A short chip kick to Tassick, and Tassick leads in front of the ball. It's not judged the mark. I thought he held it long enough. It will be cleared by Brendan Polar. A handball to Shane Lundberg. Lundberg gets his kick in, but it's Dave Mutimer now who is first to the ball, gives it across to Clegg. Clegg back to Fox. Bruce Fox now for East Burwood as they come down looking for the big chief, and Featherston has the mark. That's all East Burwood at this particular stage, and they are in front of their men, Jake.
Yes, they are, and they're on top at the moment. Paul McInerney's been an extremely effective player as a ruck rover. He's making space. Just as I talk, Carl Husen picks it up on the left foot, has a shot.
Beautiful goal. He was right in the job there. It's a little chip kick came across, and he was right on the spot from Featherston. Rex Calhousen picked it up and slammed it straight through the centre for another goal to East Burwood, who are now traversing the Commonwealth Bank scoreboard to 6 goals 3, and that's 39 points, and they lead Mitcham 2 goals 7. Haven't done too much in this quarter, Mitcham, with the wind as East Burwood did in the first, Jake.
Oh, look, East Burwood have done extremely well with the wind. They've used it. They've created the loose play. They've attacked on the right side of the ground wherever possible, and making Mitcham pay.
Points as the lead now have gone out to East Burwood. The ball is thrown up again on the shoulder to the Mitcham. It's judged to the Mitcham's free kick, and it's Peters. No, it's not Peters. He now throws the ball back to Polar, and it's John Polar, number 5 for Mitcham, who will have the ball. He was doing some heavy work at the centre bounce contest, and he sends it deep into attack for Mitcham. The centre half forward to go. The high flies up there, and it's over the top.
Sutherland.
It's Sutherland who relays the ball out to Calhousen. Calhousen gets a big kick to Bruce Fox. Bruce Fox, a quick hand pass to Lester Ellis. Lester Ellis grabbed with the ball, held it a bit too long, says the umpire, and Mitcham will take this kick. You held the ball, so here goes the kick. Collop, lucky you didn't give a big 50-metre penalty away there, Collop. And it's Darren Peters who has the ball to relief for Mitcham on the wing position. He's looking up towards the centre, looking for Randalls, and also the small running plays in Kellett. But Mitcham again through Ellis. East Burwood relay the ball back, looking for Featherston. It's Natako who kicks for Mitcham, sends it up again, but again using hand passes very effectively, and East Burwood back in attack. Cookie, a beautiful lead, running under the ball, and takes one of those familiar marks as he throws his hands out, and it's only about 5 to go here as Stewie Cook, well within kicking distance now on the on the forward pocket position. A nice kick with a following breeze is what's required here. Cookie moving in the ball, Arrowsmith on the mark. It won't get the distance, go the teeth of goal though. The big high flies go. Nicholson was reading the ball, but it didn't drop in front of him, and it went straight through for a touched Arrowsmith, or was it Brendan Pollard? Pollard who take the kick in, uses all the square, I thought he's a bit over it, and Cleggy comes in. Clegg puts the ball in the boot, looking for Bailey or Ryan McInerney, and Ryan McInerney slots in the spot beautifully there and marks in front of Brendan Pollard. He's right on the 10-yard square line, so he's got far and he's directly in front.
Jim, at this stage, this quarter, these Birds kick 6-3 to 2 points.
Now they use that win very effectively, and maybe another goal coming up here. Here he comes, Ryan McInerney takes 3 steps and puts it on his way, and it's another goal. Yes, it is, to East Burwood, who now go on the Collingwood Bank scoreboard to 7 goals, 4. That's 46 points, leading Mitcham 2 goals, 7, 19. Jake.
Just what you'd tell your players to do, Graham, when you centre that ball from that pocket. Umpire in right for the ball, in the centre of the ground. In there's big Rex Carlhausen playing a top game. He gets, Hodges pushes him out. Driving on the ball was the players, but the umpire says, give it to me, boys, and we'll ball it up once again in the centre of the ground. Here's umpire Graham Beer in the centre of the ground, ready to bounce the ball up. The time's running out, should be just about half time. There's, what's this, umpire? And it's too high against Hodges again. He's done it a couple of times today, and it goes to Mark Gow. Kicks the ball to centre half forward. In there's Featherston. Featherston takes a great mark in front of the pack, in front of Mark Randalls, and Featherston could nearly score from here. He's at the true centre half position, about 45 metres out, directly in front. 2 minutes of this second quarter to go in the 1992 Grand Final. John Featherston, the East Burwood centre half forward with the ball coming in. Here's the kick off the foot. It looks like it's going to drop short. Where's the high five? Over the pack, and it's a goal! They get caught. Ball drifted over the top, and the scoreboard reads East Burwood 8 goals 4, lead Mitcham 2 goals 7. Graham. There they are, umpire Beer in the centre of the ground, throws it up, in goes Big Hodges, but he judged the ball today. It hits the ground, coming through there hard was McInerney. He forces the ball out towards Fox. Fox trying hard. He handballs it back, but straight to Mitcham in Poynton over the top, but the umpire said it's got to come back, boys, and it's going back to Brad Chapman, the centre man for the Mitcham side, who's playing a very good game. Free side, onto the left foot, shoots it down to the far side. Shouldn't have gone down there, son. And the ball hits the ground, coming through as the East Burwood player handballs over to Fox. Fox has got the run. He shoots it back into the centre of the ground. In front, Featherston misses them. Clegg's in there. So's the Mitcham player in the taco. He handballs out, picked up by the Mitcham player, and shoots it out to the half-back line, running out there, and it's a throw-in on the half-forward line for the East Burwood side, who are going towards the grandstand end, and it's the breeze end. Just about over this second quarter. Here's the throw-in by the umpire. Up there was Big Hodges, but it's a free. Play on, says the umpire. 1 minute to go in this term. Picked up by the player for Mitcham in Nateko, and he shoots the ball forward, and it's marked by Gow. Gow onto the right foot, shoots it up to the half-forward line. Over the back of the pack was the Mitcham player in Odgers. He forces the ball to the ground, but it goes out of bounds and a throw-in. Seconds ticking away. 33-point lead to East Burwood. Just on half-time, a great lead to go in at half-time. Here's the throw-in. Up they go, the big boys. Hits the ground. In comes Bailey. He handballs over the top, but he says, umpire Via said it was a throw, son, and it's going to big Odgers. Odgers has got the ball. He's got nowhere to go. It's a long way. He torpedoes the ball down to the far side of the ground. And there's the siren to end half-time, where the Commonwealth Bank scoreboard reads 8 goals for East Burwood. A brilliant quarter of football leads Mitcham 2 goals 7. 33-point lead to East Burwood. Graham, the grand final for 1992. And here we go. Umpire Enright to bounce the ball up. Carlhausen's in there. Up he goes and gets the ball to the ground. Diving in, and it was the Mitcham player in Marty Beattie, but the umpire says we'll ball it up again, fellas, and try it again. Carlhausen in there with McInerney. Up goes the ball. Coming through was the big boy in Randalls, hits the ball to the ground. Going through is McInerney. That's Paul McInerney. He tries to force the ball along, but the umpire says play on, fellas. Oh, in the back. Play on again, says the umpire, but now he's pulled it up and he's given it in the back. I thought about 5 minutes late. It's taken by Neil Trollope at centre half back for the East Burwood side. He's not looking too good. Here he comes. What's he going to do? He's going out the far side wing. There's the lead. It's Stephen Clegg out there. Oh, he gets pushed out too.
Nice.
And a mark taken by the Mitcham player. They can't pick him up from there. He comes off the side of the boot in the centre of the ground. In there is the big boy in Jones for East Burwood. Hits it to the ground. Picked up by Mutimer. He forces the ball down, but he was in the heavy park. Picked up by Fox. Handballs out to Nicholson. Nicholson onto the right foot, shoots it to half forward. And what's happened after he got rid of it? Johnny Polar come in and knocked Nicholson over. So it's up the ground. It's going to John Featherston at centre half forward.
Interesting to note, Les, I think that's about the third or fourth time that Nicholson's had free kicks given to the side further downfield after late tackles.
Off the ball, yeah.
Featherston with the ball at centre half forward. Comes straight across the ground to Stewie Cook. He slips over. In comes the Mitcham defence. He loses it in Randalls, I think it was. And forced out again was Cook. Pushes the ball forward. Off the ground, going in hard was the Mitcham player in Lumberg. But he couldn't get the ball out. And it's a ball up at centre half forward in the attacking zone for East Burwood.
Mitcham has certainly made some changes. Odgers is at full forward, McCormick at centre half forward, and Randall's on the ball.
That's about the only position you can play with one leg, Joe.
Bounce the ball, Featherston's got it, he kicks it out to the half forward line. Out there's Nicholson again, leading his side very well again today, as he did last week. Now, he kicked a goal from this position last week, but I think it's a little bit far today with this win.
You can have 20-1, Les.
Right, Graham, you are a punting man. Here comes Nicholson. No, he's taking his time. He shoots it in short, waiting for the leads. Up they come. In there was Tassick. He misses the ball. Going in hard there was the Mitcham player. Their defence pits it out here to the running player in Mitcham is Blake. He kicks the ball forward. Oh, in front was Big Gow, and Gow takes the mark. Geez, a strong player, Graham.
He's played an outstanding game. His final series has been exceptionally good. Maybe Odgers had the wood on him slightly in the second semi, but today, again, he's dominated.
Gow shoots it out to the half forward. There's a bloke out there by himself, but chipping in was Randalls. He's got the ball. Handballs over the top, picked up by the Mitcham player in Peters. Polar it was, sorry. Handballs it back. Going in there was Alice, I think it was, for the East Burwood. But it stacks on the mill and it's in the back against Stephen Jones, and it's going to the Mitcham player. Brendan Polar, is it? Right, Brendan Polar handballs on. He kicks the ball long was Lumberg. He kicks it into the centre of the ground. John Polar's in there, but punched from behind. Good disciplined football by Mutimer. He kicks the ball down to the ground. In there's the Mitcham player again, and it's over the shoulder, and it's going to the Mitcham player. In the centre of the ground, in Slater. The captain, Brad Slater's got the ball at half-back for the Mitcham side. In he comes. He's shooting the ball out here. Out the high-flying players. It's all Fox from behind down to Nicholson again. He dives in the ball, but Fox follows up and handballs it over the top to Tassick. Tassick tries to get the ball, and it's a free kick, and it's going to the player in Ryan McInerney. Brian McInerney's got the ball. He's in long sleeves as well as Tassick, but Brian McInerney shoots the ball in there. In there's Tassick this time, but it hits the ground. Picked up by the Mitcham player. Oh, nice mark. Play on, says the umpire. Featherson's got it. He tries to handball it away. It's on the ground. Kicked off the ground by Polar. In goes Fox again. Oh, hard bump. On, says the umpire. Picked up by Saunders. Saunders has got the ball. He kicks the ball off the side of the foot. It's all Mitcham. Going in there was Nicholson to try to relieve, but coming in there was the Mitcham player. Handballs over the top. Featherson's got it now. Featherson's over the top towards Nicholson. Nicholson's running in towards goals. What'll he do? Handballs in the beautiful football. Nicholson into Clegg. Clegg into the open goal. Bang! Straight through the centre. And the scoreboard reads the Commonwealth scoreboard. 9 goals for East Burwood to Mitcham 2-7.
That's the only way you can kick goals down there then, Les, and East Burwood showed it then. They got the numbers.
Right in the centre of the ground with umpire Enright.
And the ball's about to be sent up in the air again by Peter Enright. Here it goes. In the ruck this time is Rex Carlhausen. Travis Rossiter running up and down the boundary line, warming up to come on for Mitcham. Mitcham vitally need to get some running players into their game, and maybe when Travis Rossiter is one of these. I did say just at the half-time break to Tony Dermody, I said if East Burwood get a goal against this wind, it's a big trouble for Mitcham, and that's exactly what's happened. Here comes the ball, back to the contest now. Mark Gow in for the ball now, as to is Jones and Ellis, but the umpires said they'll ball it up because the Mitcham player was lying over the ball at the bottom of the pack. Here it comes, back to the central umpire now, to be balled up to, it's just on the end of the goal square, the centre square now. Punch down, leading in the race for the ball is Trollope. Trollope has met heavily. Pursuing the ball now is Sutherland. Sutherland is also bumped out of the way in the back by the crowd, and the umpire says yes it was, and it's going to go to East Burwood, and it's Sutherland who relieved for East Burwood right on the back pocket stage of this Boronia ground. Here he comes, puts the ball to boot now. It favours the kick towards the boundary line, and Mark Gow underneath the ball and will be awarded the kick, and it's coming off is Glenn Thiel, I think. There was a Poynton here, Big Mick Poynton coming off. So the long and the short of it, because the little small running player in Travis Rossiter will now take the field for Mitcham. The ball is to be sent to kick by Mark Gow. He sends it up in the air, the wind holding it up as the players get underneath the ball. Mitcham with a quick kick, it goes across to Chapman. Chapman has the ball. It didn't travel too far, and he's caught with the ball because he thought it was going to be given the mark. Featherston now takes the kick. He kicks across the centre of the ground. The umpire will call the ball back because he didn't kick over his mark, so it'll go back to Featherston. And actually, Clegg should have taken the mark, said the umpire, so it's Stephen Clegg. Kicks the ball. He goes the opposite direction, goes up towards the wing position, and huddles the boundary line, but Mitcham through their skipper, Slater, brings it back towards their half-forward line. They're looking for Glenn Thiel. Glenn Thiel, though, doesn't meet the ball first, and Trollope, he's having the time of his life out there. Neil Trollope is in everything, mud all over him, and he now will relieve for East Burwood. Coming along, hugging the flank. He's looking for McInerney, but it's punched to the ground, picked up by Mitcham player, running into their forward line, John Polar, and he gets it across to Glenn Field, but it's picked up by Rossiter, who quicked on the ground. He actually gets it, it rolls the ball through like a little soccer kick because it was a corner kick. He came from right angles for the goal. He's only on the ground about 15 seconds.
Rossiter's only a young player, but he showed a lot of experience the way he kicked it off the side of his foot.
His father, Bob Rossiter, is on the selection panel for Mitcham too. Played a lot of football there. It's out of the centre now through Fox, but it's relieved. It's held up by Randalls.
Mark Randalls, it's in half back, yes.
The big number 6 gets the ball with, in the van there for the kick is East Burwood through Danny Saunders, another young player, being a fledgling Ram, is getting his big chance today in this grand final. He's in the cricket pitch, sends it up to the centre half-forward position, but Mitcham will relieve through Martin Beattie, gets the ball across to young Rossiter again, but Saunders, actually Sutherland is paying him close attention, gets the ball across to Clegg, and Rossiter getting him to shoot, but it's picked up by the captain and Slater, and it goes across to Polar, and Polar will mark the ball on the half-forward line near the boundary line. Now it's Mark Randalls that come following the ball down. It's Mark Randalls now throwing the ball onto the boot, looking for his Glenn Thiel, and Glenn Thiel goes up and takes a beautiful mark, and the ex-Dandenong player takes a very, very nice mark at this particular stage, the third quarter here. Very quiet in the first 2 quarters, Thiel, and this is the sort of things that Mitcham will be looking for, and I'm quite sure Craig Brad is asked players like him to produce. And Thiel puts the ball in the boot, wastes the kick though, and Nicholson just marks it almost, I was going to say unattended, and suddenly a Mitcham player came through and paid him a little bit of treatment, and the ball is relayed up the field now to Rex Carlhausen. And East Burwood doing with these. Again, Carlhausen put down after the kick, and a little bit of undiscipline is creeping into Mitcham's play, Jake.
Yes, it is, and that time it was Big McCormick who gave the free kick downfield. And it just shows that they are rattled a little bit. They've got to concentrate on their job, getting in front, getting the ball. That's what they're not doing.
Yes, I think they've got to get a focus totally on that. And as you say, so it goes up to, it doesn't travel too far because it's on the wing position, and the umpire will ball up as Ryan McInerney throws the ball back to the central umpire, and it's Peter Enright who throw the ball up.
The runner for Mitcham, Peter Moody, out to have a go at McCormick then too.
Yes, he's probably told him, you get back to full forward and do the job we've asked you to do, and don't worry about playing the man. And because you can't give too many free kicks away to a side that's leading you by about 6 goals or 5 goals or so, if you've got the win and you have to it's your use of the ball. Here it is on the wing position, thrown up again by the central umpire. It's punched across by the big man in Featherston, across to the boundary, and it's just out of Stephen Clegg's reach, and it just goes over the line out of bounds in front of the coach's box here at Boronia. And this is ECB football.
This finals broadcast is brought to you by Toy Kingdom. They have stores all over the eastern districts, at Forest Hill Chase, Lilydale, Ringwood North, and at the Stark Shopping Centre. Toy Kingdom stores carry a full range of children's toys and have exclusive rights for the pregnant Judith doll. Toy Kingdom stores are at Forest Hill Chase, Lilydale, Ringwood North, and at the Stud Park Shopping Centre.
Here at Boronia, we see the pocket rocket for East Burwood. Doug Gleeson takes the field, and as Mick McCormick took the ball at centre-half forward, sent it down towards the forward zone. Leading for the ball is now Jones from East Burwood, and also Brendan Polar. But it'll go over line out of bounds. I think, yes, for the throw-in here, as Mick McCormick playing at centre-half forward, and the big Dale Hodges anchored at the forward position because we think he was favouring a bit of a leg injury there, so that's the place they propped him up. Obviously they'll be missing him in the ruck though, the Tigers, as the ball is on their half forward line and their forward pocket now being thrown up by the central umpire, and it's Polar and Rossiter around the ball now is being thrown to the ground. It's actually Mitcham will get the ball out to tackle. The Mitcham player's tackle as he didn't have the ball and will receive the kick, and it's Randalls who'll go back. Is it Randalls? Paul Randalls, is it? No, it's the skipper, Slater. He slams the ball across looking for Mick McCormick, but it's punched to the ground. Hodges leading over the ball, can't get it. Young Rocket again goes to the ball, tries to come out of the pack, is tackled. Mark Gow now will do the big relieving kick in for the Rams, and looking for John Featherston. I think the boundary will beat that player though, and it's out of the danger zone in the Mitcham territory here for the East Burwood, and they get another chance to regroup as Doug Gleeson on the ball for East Burwood to get a bit of running play. Obviously the bench are watching what Mitcham were doing when Rossiter came to the field, so too about a moment later came Doug Gleeson, so to get a bit of freshness into this side in the third quarter, because obviously I always say it's the championship or the premiership quarter, and it certainly will be that way. It's thrown in by the boundary umpire now, cleared by Ryan McInerney, who comes around, hugs the boundary, and young Clegg in front of his man as he's been all day. It sends a rocket to hand pass over to his captain coach and Peter Nicholson. Nicholson goes up to the ground now with a beautiful lead that's come out by Stuart Cook, who takes a very nice mark, being paid attention to by his opponent, but Cookie just looks up at the umpire, and the umpire brings Arrowsmith down another 15 yards or so, and it gives him more of a chance to have a shot at goal. Though there's a fairly stiff swirling breeze up that he'll actually kick from the centre half forward position. It's the big Stuart Cook, 301 games now to date, and will he hang up the boots after this one? I'm quite sure he'd love a premiership club to go back to Ramland, and Stuart Cook now is doing his bit towards it. The contribution as he moves in now, heading right and directly in the path of goal. Throws a nice big long kick, but goes up in the air a little bit too high. The wind drags it across, goes across the pocket. Clegg in pursuit for the ball now, leans over the ball. Will he send a half ball, a handball out as a shot? He elects to have a shot. It goes towards goal, right in the teeth of goal now. Players all over the ball. Mitcham will run it out though, and it's open spaces down here on the half-forward line. Although in pursuit is Paul McInerney. Is the only player there now. He's got plenty of time to set up. He feeds off a handball to Fox. Bruce Fox sells the dummy on his opponent, runs in close to the goal and puts it on its way. It goes straight through. That was a lovely passage to play, Jake. Another goal to East Burwood.
Yes, we mentioned, JD, that that was you could possibly kick a goal from down that end.
Yes, it's, they've got a big mortgage on this flag now. And here at Boronia, it's great to see the sun shine out and the crowd enjoying it. It's been a very good, happy crowd here today. There's been no incidents here, not so much either on or off the field. And away it goes now. It's, so the ball is up in the centre of the ground, players all around the ground, all over the ball, I should say. And umpires picked out a free. It took him some time. He walked in there, saw some Gleeson getting paid some close attention on the bottom of the pack, and he runs across to his former Boxall teammate, and Peter Nicholson sends a pass off onto the half-forward line. Rex Carlhalson was making the play beside him, but Nicholson elects to throw the ball onto the boot. Goes up towards the forward pocket now, leading in the ball. He's obviously looking for Tasek and company up there. It's an army of players over the ball now, but the Tigers will clear the ball. They're running it out across the half-back line. Don't look where they kick, but the umpire has whistled and the ball will come back, and it'll be, again, I think, Mitcham to take the kick. The wind has dropped dramatically, we've been told. It's just a breeze now. We saw that with, although if you put the ball up too high, it'll grab it, but the kicks are getting longer against the breeze. Mitcham will relieve on the half-back line now, coming across to the wind. It's scooped out by McCormick, although it's picked up here by Jones, who sends it straight back. And it's looking for the beautiful lead in, it's Cookie, is it? No, it's McInerney. And he doesn't waste any time. He looks for Clegg. And players over the ball now, trying to clear it. A big punch off the ground by the Mitcham defence. It goes back to McInerney. He sends a handball in mid-air. Players tackle with a beautiful tackles being laid on here. And we're seeing a great exhibition of football. But it's the leeway that Mitcham can't make up. They race around the ground. Trollope coming right through the centre of the ground. And as defenders should, and sending it right deep into attack. But again, Mitcham will clear as Matako gets the ball onto the boot now, looking for big Mick McCormick. Darren Peters playing very well across that half-back line too. Gow chips in now. He uses his Vulcan brawn and sends a hand pass across to Lester Ellis, who sends the ball straight up the centre half-forward zone, looking for Featherston. He's underneath the ball. Randalls clears. It comes across to Chapman. Chapman sends feeds the hand pass off to the running player that comes down now, looking for Johnny Polar and also Charlie Kellett. It goes across the pack now. It's picked up a handball to Polar. Polar trying to make space for himself, and he throws it on the boot, but it's just going to go across the face of goals, just through for the 1 point. The big fella, Hodges underneath the ball, not able to, is very restrictive in his movements now, and Mario Zukic will send the ball back in for the East Burwood side. Score on the Commonwealth Bank scoreboard. 10 goals 4 in this third quarter of football, leading Mitcham 3 goals 8. Mitcham not doing too much with the breezes. Again, East Burwood run the ball out and quite effortlessly here. And as Featherston now pitting himself against his opponent for the ball, a handball off the ground sees Mitcham back into attack. It's on the ground here. Fox over the ball. So too is a huddle of players. It's Brindley waiting for the ball, and also Mark Gow in there contesting very hard, but and he's locking the ball in to make the umpire throw the ball up rather than giving the Mitcham forwards a chance of getting that ball out of the pack and running it into the danger zone.
Thanks, Jim, and here's umpire there to throw the ball up at the half-forward line for the Mitcham side. In goes big Mark Gow, but Randalls gets the hit down. Coming through there as the Mitcham player hits the ball along the ground, picked up by Slater. He shoots the ball forward, but it's a free kick. It's going back to the Mitcham player in Brad Slater, of course, the captain of the Mitcham side, playing quite a good game for Mitcham, but his boys up forward can't help him. He kicks the centre half forward. Here's the... No, what's happened? It's a 15-metre penalty. The East Burwood player, I think it is McInerney, ran over the mark. Yes, it's Ryan McInerney, ran over the mark. So this is to give you a chance. He's shooting into the centre of the ground. Lead down is Charlie Kellett, and Charlie Kellett takes the mark at true centre half forward. Kellett with the ball. I think it's a little bit far out, but you never know with this wind. Kellett with the ball, experienced player, recruited from the Mildura area. Here he comes, coming in, taking his time, kicks the ball very high. It's a good-looking kick going straight. Here's the high flyers, and it's over the back of the pack and through for 1 point to bring the Commonwealth Bank scoreboard. East Burwood, 10 goals 4, lead Mitcham 3 goals 9. We've been playing 19 minutes just on 20 minutes of this third term. View kick. Mario, view kick to bring the ball back into play. Shoots the ball on the left foot out to the outer wing. Eyes the high flyers, hits the ground. Picked up by Peters. Peters and Mitcham shoots the ball forward, but it's too far, and it goes out of bounds on the full, and Neil Trollope to take the kick back in on the half-back line for the East Burwood side.
You get the feeling that nothing's going right for Mitcham at the moment.
Neil Trollope to bring the ball back into play. He shoots the ball to the far side. Here's the high flyers. Gow's in there. Over the back of the pack was the Mitcham player, and he took the mark, and it is the player in Mick McCormick. McCormick gets the ball, shoots it back to the forward line. In front's Howard. Over the back was Johnny Polar. He couldn't get the ball. Trollope's in there, pushes the ball out. In front, in goes Gow. Uses his weight, pushes the ball forward again. In goes Randall. He misses it. They're diving on the ball. It's tough football. They're going in hard. Picked up by Gleeson. Gleeson onto the right foot, shoots it to half, to the centre line. Up goes Cook, and Cook takes a screamer. Plays on, but he's caught. And ball's back. Picked up by the big fella in Randalls. He shoots the ball to the half-forward line, but it's relieved the pressure, and Dougie Gleeson takes the mark on the half-back line. Doug Gleeson with the ball. We're at the 21-minute mark of this third term. Here comes Dougie Gleeson. He's going wide again, too wide in my opinion, because it goes straight out of bounds on the ball. I think he'll get a message from the coach's bench.
Also the opinion of the driver, the yellow card, it bounced on
Yeah,
it.
you're right, Jim. The scoreboard, Commonwealth Bank scoreboard, 10-4, East Burwood, 3-9, Mitcham. The ball to come back into play by the Mitcham player. Here he comes. I think it is the captain in Brad Slater, shoots it in the centre of the ground. Ryan McInerney's there, but a play on, says the umpire. They all had a go at that one. Diving in hard was both sides. They're playing grand final football. It's desperate. They want to win it, and they're all having a good crack at it. Umpire Veer with the ball in the centre of the ground, slightly towards the the Mitcham goal. Up it goes. Hits the ball down was McCormick. It's in the air. Nicholson going in. Oh, courageous play by both Nicholson. The two number 5s, to tell you the truth, Polar and Nicholson. But Polar wins out and takes the mark at centre half forward. John Polar, that is, with the ball. He can kick a ball too, this boy, but it's too far out to, I think, to kick it accurately, but he could score. Here comes Johnny Polar. Good kick. In it comes. It's dropping short. Here's the high flyers in front. Sutherland over the back of the pack. Picked up by Alice. Alice out for Nicholson, who's playing a brilliant game of football. Kicks it onto the right foot. Shoots it out here to the little fella in Saunders, and he takes the mark. No, he says it's out of bounds, fella. Bad luck. Good attempt, but it's out of bounds in front of the broadcast box, which is in front of the grandstand. Here's the throw-in from the boundary umpire. In there's Mark Gow. Over the top. But McInerney hits it down towards Saunders. He pushes the ball forward. It stacks on the mill, and the umpire also. No play on. Gow's got it. He forces it out. Gleeson's in there too. And a free kick. Who it's going? And it's going to the East Burwood side. And it's going to that big boy, Mark Gow, as Graham Jacobs said, playing a solid game of football for his side. Mark Gow with the ball on the half-back line for East Burwood. Going to the outer wing. Up it goes. In comes the high flyers. Featherson hits the ball to the ground. In comes Jones. Jones tries to force the ball forward. In hard was McInerney. That's Ryan McInerney. And the umpire said, what we're going to do, we're going to throw it in on the grandstand wing between the two coaches' boxes at the Boronia football ground. This is the grand final of the Eastern Districts Football League, and what a game it is. Here's the throw-in. Up it comes. Here's the big boys. Featherson's in there, but over the top of the pack was Randalls. But going in hard there was the big boy in Mick McCormick. It's spread out. Gleeson trying hard to get the ball out. Pardon me, but the umpire in Graham Veer said, give it to me, boys, and we'll ball it up on the half-forward line for the Mitcham side, who are kicking towards the grandstand end. Umpire Veer with the ball. Up it goes. In there's Mark Gow again. Over the top was Randalls. Going in there was the Jones. He misses it. Picked up by Ryan McInerney. Shoots it forward, and a fine mark taken by the old gentleman, Stuart Cook. Cook with the ball on the centre wing. Oh, look at that kick. That's a big one towards the half-forward line, and taking a great mark as Fox nearly played on, but he stood his ground.
And he's braced as far, Liz.
Yes, mate. Here he goes. Kovac shoots the ball in short, hits the league fantastic, but it's over the top of his head. In there was Mark Randalls, but there's that captain and coach of East Burwood again, forcing it out in Nicholson, but the free kick will go to the Mitcham side. No, he's reversed it, I think. He's reversed it, and it's going to, I've got the binoculars on, it's a long way away, and it's going to John Featherston, and I'd say it'll be against Darren Peters.
Tackle without the ball, I think.
And he's only about 35 metres out, directly in front, and he'll have no worries in kicking or scoring but whether he's straight is another question. But who would you like to have at bar this boy? I suppose only Tassie or Cookie. John Featherstone, recruited back to East Burwood last year. He had a year away from them, but he's a real good contender for the East Burwood side. In he comes, kicks the ball, it's off the side of the boot, and it's going right across the face, and it's out of bounds on the full. That's that win that Graham was talking about before. Here's the Mitcham side to bring the ball back into play, and it's Darren Peters in the last line of defence. He kicks the ball in there. It's a long kick to the centre wing on the outside. Oh, good was the Mitcham player, but he loses possession, and the umpires has pulled it up and it's given the Mitcham player a free kick, who was Natako. Natako gets the ball. He's coming to the centre half-forward position. Here's the high flyers. Polar's in front. From behind was Mutimer. He forces the ball to the ground. Kicked up by the East Burwood player, but it's up the ground after he kicked it. By G. Graham, while we got the opportunity, haven't they given a lot of these 15-metre penalties away, Mitcham?
There have been a lot of ill-disciplined
and it's gone to Featherstone. In the, well, he's more towards the half-forward line. Coote shoots it out to the outer wing. Oh, there's a free to Stephen Clegg, of course. Another bit of undisciplined play by the Mitcham side. I think they're getting a little bit rattled, but Stephen Clegg with the ball on the half-forward line on the outer side of the ground. We're at the 26-minute mark. 2 minutes to go. Here comes Stephen Clegg. He kicks the ball to the forward line. Here's the high flyers. Who's going to grab it? And it's hit the ground, but the umpires picked the mark out, and it'll go to Mitcham.
Yes, it looks like the Arrowsmith to relieve a slight tap kick over the towards the boundary line, as Mitcham looking for numbers now. There's about 3 of them out there to 2 East Burwoods, and Mitcham now trying to get the ball down, trying to mount an attack, because as Graham Jacobs said, they've got 2 minutes to go. I guess they're aware the time's running out, because they would have been trying to get on the ball since this quarter started. They've only just managed the 1 goal, so not enough on the Commonwealth Bank scoreboard here, and the ball is locked in for the throw up here in the centre half forward position between there and the boundary line. A big thump out by the ruckman for Mitcham. A nice scoop off again off the bound by Trollope. Trollope right up in the centre of the ground. He gets the ball to up the forward. Tassie flies for the ball. Hits the ground now. Mitcham defenders desperately trying to run the ball out. It's the big fella in Thiel gets the ball, sends it down towards Randalls. Randalls has a kick now on the half-back flank. McCormick flies and Gow, the 2 heavyweights, clashing on the wing, centre wing position. It comes down towards Randalls now. Randalls handball across. It goes nowhere in particular. Saunders and also Sutherland relieved now. Players Gow again picks up the kick, sends it across to the wing position. No one out there except big Rex Carlhausen, but he's behind the ball. Mitcham chip in, will bring it down through Randalls. Another handball across to the captain Slater, and Trollope throws himself at the ball and steers it over the line. He's done a lot of valuable work there, Trollope, as he follows the ball up towards the centre of the ground, so it will be for the throw-in, as Mitcham look like they'll be mounting an attack in this last minute or so of play in the 3rd quarter here at Boronia at the grand final of EDFL First Division. Thrown back in over the top of Fox. It's punched out by Mitcham's Randalls over towards it's big Carlhausen, tackle with the ball. He tries to get rid of it to cross to Saunders. It's picked up here by Chapman. And Chapman, as he's tackled with the ball, the boundary umpire's about to claim it anyway, and up goes the central umpire's arms, because of the siren has gone here at Boronia with the score 10 goals 4. This is East Burwood, 10 goals 4, 64, leading Mitcham 3 goals 9, and that's 27.7. And this is...
Boy said Graham, straight kicking's good football.
Straight kicking helps, Les, and I don't think the inaccuracy is all Mitcham's fault, though. It's been the work done by the East Burwood defenders.
Right, here we are in the centre of the ground. Umpire Beer throws the ball up. In goes Carlhausen. He knocks the ball to the ground. Coming through again was Carlhausen. He gets the ball out. In goes hard the Mitcham players. It's desperate last quarter football. And the umpire, who both of them have done a I couldn't get it out. A fantastic job today. And good luck to them. They've deserved their position today.
Peter Enright got trapped in no man's land there. You see from the ball came down,
there with me
he couldn't get out of the way quick enough.
Here's Enright, throws the ball up, in they go. Carlhausen used his body, kicked off the ground by McInerney, but umpire Peter Enright, doing the job he should be doing, gives the free kick, and it goes to Brad Burns. Burns kicks the ball out into the wing. In there was Randalls. He's running a bit slow up and down the one spot. They must be tired, these boys. It's been a long season, and they've battled their heart out, both sides, through the home and home games, and now in the final series. Here's umpire Graham Veer on the centre wing. the grandstand side wing. Up it goes off the side, pushing himself in was Randalls. Here comes the East Burwood player, kicked off the ground. In goes Featherston. He's got the ball, pushes it towards McInerney. He loses possession. In there was the good tackle by John Featherston on the Mitcham player, and it's out of bounds, and it was on to Brad Slater, the captain of the Mitcham side. Here's the throw-in on the centre wing. In it goes. Up go the big boys. Gow at the back hits the ball to the ground. Coming through there hard was McInerney, which was Paul. Paul tries to get the ball out. Here's the players. They're in there. They're tackling hard. In there's the coach. By geez, he's showing the way. Peter Nicholson doing everything right. But Brad Burns. Oh, here it's on again. Here's the ball hits the ground. In goes the players. It's big McCormick. He tries to get it. It's tough football in there. The players are stacks on the milk. Steve Craig tries to get it out, and they can't get it out for the love of the money. And the umpire, Graham Veer, says, give it to me, fellas. Get out of here, and we'll try to get the game flowing again. Umpire Graham Veer, very well experienced footballer in EDFL football. Up it goes. In comes the big boys. Gow used the good football, son. He gets the ball, but Peters takes it. Mitcham shoots the ball forward, but picked up by the defence of Mutimer. He goes in again. Coming in hard was the Mitcham player in Polar. He tries to get it through. It's forced further. Here comes Alice. Alice handballs for East Burwood. Diving on it was Gow. He gets pushed out of the way. It's Gow again goes in, but he runs it out of bounds, and it'll be a throw in front of the Brains Trust.
Yes, Mutimer's been a very effective player. He's done a pretty good job on Johnny Polar, Mutimer.
Here's the throw-in. In they come. Gow's in there again with young Randalls. Randalls wins out, hits the ball to the ground. Oh, they're going in hard. It's on out here between a couple of players, but this is finals football. Ooh. And the emergency umpire's there. He'll stop it. And the...
only wrestling, Les.
Yes, I know. Of course it is. That's what it's all about. Umpire Veer throws the ball up. In goes Mark Gow and Randalls. Randalls doing a good job against the experience of Mark Gow, but... the free kick goes to the East Burwood player in, I think it is... Sutherland, yes. He shoots the ball out towards Featherston. He overruns it. Coming off the ground, Featherston boots it, but straight into the hands of Brad Slater. No, it's not. It's Brindley. Brindley got the ball, goes to the half-forward line. Here comes the high flyers. Hit down to the ground was McCormick. Picked up by Peters. Peters feeds it out again. Out towards, going through there hard was the East Burwood player in Sutherland. He shoots the ball out here, but it's Mitcham taking it by Slater. He shoots the ward forward into the attacking zone for the Mitcham side, and it's gone across the face of goals and out of bounds.
Bruce Holmes walking around the crowd with a calculator doing a crowd count here as he's trying to add up these big totals of this well-packed, supported grand final day. Jake, what do you make of it?
Yes, certainly been well attended, and that was a good effort by Polar to try and kick that ball off the ground.
Well, back it's the ball still on the ground level. A wild kick comes out of the pack now. It's cleared by East Burwood. Bukic sends it around looking for the big chief in John Featherston. He picks it up on the wing, but he handballs in front of him to keep the ball into play. And in front of Cook, though, is young Arrowsmith. Arrowsmith paddles the ball off the ground to give Mitcham a chance to keep the ball up and running. And the pack develops now, still free and clear. A wild kick off the ball sends it down towards the boundary line, deep in the pocket now here in the forward pocket at the Boronia football ground. Score on the Commonwealth Bank scoreboard reads East Burwood 10 goals 4 with seemingly a mortgage on this EDFL Premiership Cup. 10 goals 4, 64, leading Mitcham 3 goals 9. That's 27 points. That's the lead of 37 points. The boundary umpire throws the ball back in. Is it the young man from the EDFL playing for Czech, or is he playing for Cashman? It's Cashman. Sends the ball back in. Goes across to the pack now. Picked up by McInerney. McInerney thumps it off the ball, but the umpire says there's an infringement there, and we'll give the free to the player playing the ball, and it's McInerney who'll pick the ball up.
Jimmy, three-quarter time at the AFL. Footscray 15-5-95. Lead St Kilda 6-4-40.
If I stop talking, then I'll jump in my car and be driving out there. It's young Danny Saunders has the ball now. He handballs across the man the mark, plays on. It's kicked down here by McInerney. Under the pack now is Mitcham soaring. The ball goes to the ground now. That was Kellett. It's kicked a wild kick out of the pack though, but it's by a Mitcham player, but it goes towards East Burwood goals. I'm sure they didn't mean that. It's now relayed out of the boundary line by Brindley. It sends it across to Brad Burns, who's come on this the last quarter for Mitcham to get some running into their game. And it's East Burwood though will hold up that clearance kick. And oh dear, there's more undisciplined as Mitcham's McCormick steps over the mark and will be brought back another 20 or so yards by the umpire. Play on as Nicholson kicks the ball out to the centre forward position. In comes McInerney. It's to the ground. Nico underneath the ball. So too is Bruce Fox. And the umpire's whistle goes again. And play on is the call. Or is it? No, it's going to come back. It's picked up here by Rex Carlhausen. Sends the ball back looking for Stuart Cook. Cook underneath the ball. Has the ball punched out of him by Arrowsmith. In comes Lester Ellis. But Mitcham Kellett is tackled as he goes to clear the ball. Is again picked up by Eastburwood. Seen the ball back looking for McInerney and Fox. They compete with each other. The ball goes to the ground and the umpire, there's no option to ball up, and they're standing at the true centre half forward position, attacking towards the scoreboard end here with Mitcham trailing Eastburwood at a big margin here. The wind has no bearing now. It's just 30 minutes or less now of football, about 24 minutes of football to be played, and this Mitcham side have got to get themselves on the board. Here comes the punch down now. The ball is off the ground, relayed off by Featherston, but Darren Peters chips in, sends the ball forward for Mitcham, up towards the centre half forward position, just over the centre line, but again, it's Eastburwood leading in front of the front for the ball. Rex Carlhausen, safe hands of Rex Carlhausen. He'll clear, he'll send it back for Eastburwood. It's spilled off Mitcham's hand now. Doug Gleeson over the ball, punches it out. It's picked up here by a beautiful hand pass by Cook. Featherston goes across to Nicholson. Nicholson on the ground, as he's been on the ground for a lot of the ground. He's put in a lot today, Nico, hasn't he, Jake?
Yes, that's his first mistake. I think he kicked it out on the fall.
Yeah, well, he just couldn't get a chance to direct it. And now it's Beattie who'll send it back for Mitcham. But Nico chips in and takes the mark too, and a little bit of a punch to the head as well. Johnny Polar on the mark. Perhaps John's learned a lot of Peter Nicholson, a field medalist from the VFA, represented the VFA side, formerly from Box Hill in his second year with Eastburwood. Sends the ball down, looking for Ryan McInerney, and Chris Tasek chipped in the middle of the big pack to take the mark, and he's at between centre half forward and full forward position, and well within scoring distance now as the Commonwealth Bank scoreboard flag here, the banner flaps around, so indicating there is still plenty of breeze here, and to assist him on his way goalward. 10 goals already on the board for Eastburwood. Will this be their 11th as Chris Tasek moves in? Mel Blake on the mark for Mitcham. Tasek puts the ball in the boot, gives it a bit of air. It's going straight, long and high and hard, but it's just 1 point as it's touched on the way through, and it's let off there for Mitcham. And they'll have to get the ball cranking now. They'll have to make an attack out of this if they're going to get up towards their forward zone. Phil Arrowsmith has the ball now. He's looking around for his options. Elects to go straight down the ground now. He's looking for, and he's marked here by Randalls. Randalls gets the ball to send it further afield, looking for a lead. Goes up towards the centre of the ground. The pack develops underneath the ball. He's building a kick-off, a wild kick off the ground. It's to Mitcham's favour. Into the ball is Dave Mutimer. Is picked up again by Kellett. Kellett with a handball to Polar. Polar full of running now. Sends it up towards the forward, but Mario Vukic on his own, and he will take the ball. No, the umpire's running in, and what does he say?
What's happened, Jim?
The mark to Mitcham, yeah.
I didn't see him either.
I didn't see him.
The mark to Big Odgers, the bloke you said couldn't run, Leslie. He took a good mark.
That's why he marked him, because he was sitting there.
He wasn't running, he was just kneeling on the ground. Vukic went over the top of him, but it went right into his chest. So there he is. It's Odgers now. Dale Odgers moves in, puts the ball in the way. The umpire runs a bit, but yes, he runs too much. And 1 point. Odgers should have made sure that they vitally needed it. And just 1 more point now. 3 goals 10 to Mitcham. 3 goals 10, that's 28 points on the Commonwealth scoreboard. To Eastburwood, trailing Eastburwood, who are locked on 10 goals 5, 65. The ball is returned by Vukic back towards the centre. Again, it's young Travis Rossiter coming in, throws the ball in the boot, going towards the goal. It's Vukic competing with the big fella in Odgers and thumps the ball through for another behind, but it's behinds they don't need, Jake.
No, that Vukic, he doesn't look a very flash footballer, stylish, but he's a very workmanlike player.
He's a Scotsman, I think. He doesn't like giving much away. Here he goes. He sends the ball back into the play now. Goes across the wing. A nice quick hand pass by Gow. Gow to Rex Carlhausen. Carlhausen hugging the flank. Sends the ball now, but it bounces away from Jones. It's picked up here by Lundberg. I thought it was Shane Lundberg. He's got a bit of mud over his number, but he sends it back to Mitcham. Again, off the carpet goes the handball. Players sliding and slipping everywhere. There's not much mud, but they found it here, and they're right in the middle of it. And it's picked up again by Mitcham. It's sent back towards their forward line. It's Polar underneath the ball. Goes now, picks it up. Rossiter. He gets the ball across to Odgers. Or is it Thiel? Bending over the ball. It's the big fella pointing back on the ground. I could see the 30. It's number 33, though. And it's Big Mick who has interfered. He put the ball down using his AFL or his interstate South Australian experience, threw the ball down to the ground, was grabbed without possession, and he has the ball here, and he's well within kicking distance. And boy, Mick, do they really need you to thump this one through. Here he comes, running away from goal a little bit. He levels up, he puts his shoulders towards goal, and it's a big mark right in the teeth of goal, and it's a tiger mark, and it looks like it's Mick McCormick who's gone back to the forward zone there. He's travelled the ball down anyway, and he's down there well within kicking distance. Is it Mick or is it Darren Peters? Yes, we thought Mick was playing in centre forward, so Darren Peters now in the forward pocket. He should make sure of this because he's close enough. The former East Wingwood player comes in, it's a big high kick and a long kick, and straight through it goes. And Mitcham, you've got your fourth on the board in this last quarter. 4 goals, 10 on the Commonwealth Bank scoreboard to East Burwood, 10 goals, 5. Jake.
Yes, good hit. Right, we're back in the centre of the ground with umpire Enright. In it goes. In there is young Randalls with Carlhausen. Carlhausen gets it down to McInerney. McInerney onto the right foot, shoots it out here. Oh, Gleeson goes in hard. Picked up by Fox, who I think's nearly best on the ground. Shoots the centre half forward. Here's the running players in Tassick and the
Blake.
Mitcham player in Blake. He dives on the ball. In goes Clegg. In goes Tassick. In goes Blake. It's tough football there. Picked up by Nicholson. Oh, playing a great game. He couldn't get it out. Picked up again by Blake. He shoots the ball out here, but it's all East Burwood, and it's marked on the centre wing by the player in... We can't...
Saunders, I think.
I think it might be young Saunders. Here's Saunders, shoots in the centre half forward. Here's Featherston. Oh, but it's marked by... Fox again. He's everywhere, this boy. Continued on from last week. He got Jake's nod last week, and by gee, he'll go close to getting a nod this week too, I think.
Well, Fox might have the ball, Les, but we're on 98.1. We're on the other FM band.
Thank you, Jimmy. Hope the bosses are not listening. Here comes Fox coming in. He's going to try a torpedo punt. In he comes on the left foot. It's going off the side of the boot, but it's gone out of bounds and on the ball. And the Commonwealth Bank scoreboard reads East Burwood 10-5, lead Mitcham 4-10, and we've been playing 13 and a half minutes in this final term, where I think the 1992 premiership will go to the East Burwood club. They're looking good, they're controlling the play, and they're making the play.
Interesting, 15 shots to 14 and a big difference in the goals, isn't there?
Goals on the board's the main thing, and there's the kick from the back line. In there go. In there was Gow over the top of the back, picked up by McInerney. He shoots into the centre of the ground. Featherston. Oh, good courageous play by the Mitcham player in Blake, I think it was. He's trying to force the ball out. They're going in. Tough, hard football. In's Cook. Out comes the little Mitcham player in... Chapman handballs over the top. Coming out there was Blumberg. Blumberg shoots the ball in the centre of the ground. Here he is, that man again. Nicholson handballs off, but it didn't come off. It picked up by the Chapman. Chapman onto the right foot into the centre of the ground. Picked up by Callett. Callett goes out to the half-forward line, and it's Poynton takes the mark. Poynton's got the ball on centre half-forward. Handballs over the top to Polar. Johnny Polar goes towards goal, but he's caught, son. Too slow. He loses it. Coming through there is the backman, but it's a free kick going to the East Burwood player.
I don't think he was too slow, Les. I think it was just a lack of talk of his teammates to tell him he was being challenged.
Right, there's the ball, and it's pushed out of bounds on the half-back line for the East Burwood side, and of course Mitcham's going towards Boronia Road and East Burwood towards the grandstand end. The boundary umpire to bring the ball back into play. We've been playing 15 minutes in this final term. In goes the big boys. They force the ball to the ground, and here's the umpires again doing a great job. Give it to me, boys. We'll ball it up on the half-forward line for Mitcham. Here's umpire Peter Enright with the ball. Here it comes. Up goes the throw. In goes the big boys in Big McCormick. But it was picked up by Gow. He forces the ball out. Coming in there was the East Burwood player and Mitcham players. Dive on the ball. Desperate grand final football. Great football to see two sides of this calibre in this game, and still having a go at this late stage, the Mitcham side, who are well down. Up goes the bounce of the ball. Getting pushed out with the East Burwood player by McCormick. He dives on the ball. He's trying to force it out too. But umpire Enright again says we'll go in and we'll ball it up again on the half-forward line for East Burwood. 10-5 East Burwood, 4-10 Mitcham. Running out of time, the Tigers. Here's umpire Enright to throw the ball up on the half-forward line. Up it goes. In there was big McCormick. He tries to pull the ball down. In there was the East Burwood player in Ryan McInerney. Forces the ball out of bounds, and a throw in on the half-forward line for the Mitcham side. Here's the throw in. In there is the Mitcham player in McCormick, he got the ball down, but he pushed his hand right in the middle of the back of that big, reliable player who's recruited from Bayswater last year, and it was Mark Gow. Mark Gow's got the ball. What's he going to do? He's going right across the goals. Who's out there? Who is it? Who is by himself all the time? Nicholson gets the ball onto the right foot, and a beautiful kick into the centre of the ground. Running players is Mutimer. He shoots the ball forward. Here's the high flies. Cook. Oh, look at him go in there over the top of the back to Lumberg. He shoots it in short. Picked up, and it's marked on the half back line for Mitcham in Beattie kicks to the centre wing. Young Randalls goes up, but Trollope from behind forces the ball to the ground. It stacks on the mill, and umpire Graham Veer coming in to ball it up on the centre wing in front of the Mitcham Brains Trust bench. Umpire Veer to throw the ball up. Up it goes. In goes young Randalls, but Fox gets the ball down. In goes Jones, and he forces the ball out of bounds on the centre wing.
Begley on the ground for Ryan McInerney of East Burwood.
Right, it's James Begley too, isn't it? Here's the throw in. Up goes Gow over the back of the pack to Fox. Fox again with a possession to McInerney. McInerney across to Trollope, and Trollope kicks the ball, and it's up the field after he'd kicked it. And who's got it again? The captain and coach, number 5, in Nicholson, playing a top captain and coach's game, leading his side well, putting himself in. He short passes to Stephen Clegg, and Stephen Clegg takes the mark on the half-forward line. Clegg with the ball. He'll go long. Here's the leads from Cook, and off Featherstone coming across the front of the pack, takes another good mark, and he's got a chance to bring another score on the Commonwealth Bank scoreboard, which reads 10-5 East Burwood, lead Mitcham 4-10.
Yes, I think that actually should be 4-11. I've just been listening to the timekeepers. It should read 4-11, so 1 point short.
Here's the Chief, better known as the Chief, John Featherstone. He should score from there. Coming in, kicks the ball. It's dropping short. Here's the high flyers over the back of the pack, and a fine mark taken by Darren Peters of the Mitcham side in the last line, right on the white line. He short passes into the centre, was dangerous, but it was taken by Chapman, who is probably one of Mitcham's better players.
Has played very well, there's Chapman.
Chapman onto the left foot, shoots into the centre of the ground, but it's all East Burwood, and a mark to Paul McInerney. He shoots it out there to Stephen Clegg by himself. He runs off, goes into the centre of the ground towards goals. It's in the goal square, over the back. Cook, but he touches the ball as it goes through, and it's a point to East Burwood to bring the Commonwealth Bank scoreboard 10 goals 6. Lead Mitcham 4 goals 10. 4-11, sorry.
They're just more creative, East Burwood, when they bring the ball in the forward line. They've always got someone they can feed it off to.
Mitcham brings the ball back into play by Arrowsmith. Up there as the high flies, hits the ground again. It's all East Burwood. It's Fox again, best on the ground in my book. Featherstone onto the right foot, shoots towards goal. It looks good, and it's right through the middle. That's the ball game. 11 goals 6. East Burwood lead Mitcham 4 goals 11, and that's the Commonwealth Bank scoreboard. Graham.
Yes, well, it certainly was probably over before, Les, but that was a great single effort by Featherstone just prior to that.
Finals. H.G. McLean of 166 Canterbury Road, Heathmont, is your local First National real estate agent. The Managing Director, Ray Brunton, and staff will assist you in all property requirements. H.G. McLean of 166 Canterbury Road, Heathmont, phone 729 5333 and ask for Ray.
Back here at the Boronia ground, which sees that goal scored at the 20-minute mark now. Mitcham through Travis Rossiter have sent the ball in attack where Kellett takes a mark, sends it up towards the centre forward position. It's going to be run out of that post by East Burwood. Coming down, following the ball down. Underneath is James Begley, but he's outmarked by this occasion by Shane Lundberg. Lundberg has the ball right in the dead centre of the ground. Elects for the short pass. He's got about 3 players there to kick it to. It's Beattie who takes off with the ball, sending it up towards the centre forward. Goal is good to see them in attack. Gow has the ball, attacked from behind. Vukic trying to clear it out of there too. The pack develops, and the umpire says, no, I'll ball it up. So right in front of goals. Too late for Mitcham now, who only have 4 goals, 10 on the board, 4-11 on the board. But they want to get something else on the board to make this score respectable. There's a crowd starting celebrating here. The East Burwood people, big smiles on their faces as time running out here in the last quarter here at Boronia. And an umpire says, here's a free kick to player, an East Burwood player in fringe with, and it'll be, I think Rex Carlhausen has the ball and brings it down forward. He's looking for Bruce Fox, who's been everywhere today. Fox outmarked, loses side of the ball, though. It's sent back by Mick McCormick. Has a wild kick, though. Kicks away from the goals and goes right over the line, out of bounds in the full to the a few Bronx cheers from the crowd.
I think the crowd sensing it's all over, Graham.
Oh, yes, there's no doubt about that, Les. It's well over.
Ball thrown back in, hits the ground now. Players, Mitcham desperate to get it towards an off the carpet kick by Polar, but it still finds its way out of bounds and will be returned by East Burwood because it's gone out of bounds on the full. So can't do a thing right. I think, Jake, you said that earlier in this broadcast, around about just as this second half recommenced, you said Mitcham just can't do a thing right, and they haven't picked up much from there, have they?
No, just the run of the game's gone against them all day. Even early in the game, you know, when they couldn't get any more than 2 goals in the first quarter, just the trend of things has been against them.
One thing that's going to happen here for sure, the stranglehold on those premiership flags by Vermont's going to be broken today, and it's going to go East Burwood's way. The ball is thrown back in, but again, the pack, it eludes the pack. Dougie Gleeson over the ball for East Burwood, as too is Beatty, but the ball is over the line out of bounds. To be thrown back in. Underneath the ball is Chapman. Big Odgers has taken the tap down, sends it across further, picked up by McInerney. Handballs not going too far now, with lots of players around trying to get a kick. Everyone from Mitcham. Brendan Polar kicks it forward, sends it up towards the forward pocket, but again it's swept easily over line out of bounds as Bailey comes back on the ground, and he takes Jones's place for East Burwood. So he's going to have a run, and he'll probably be on the ground when the siren goes. It won't be too much longer, 23 minutes of time, so we're in time on here. A wild kick out of the pack, going towards goalwards. The boot kick, though, punches the ball. It's picked up here by Chapman. Chapman has done a lot for his side, rewards himself with a goal. Nice goal by Brad Chapman for Mitcham, the former Paran player, and he makes the Tigers 5th. 5 goals, 10 on the copy. He's right on the ball there. He's over at Eltham, and he knows he gives out plenty of homework too, and detentions, I understand. Jake, the ball is thrown back, picked up by Paul McInerney, but he's swamped on when he gets the ball, as a huge amount of players on the ground now trying to get another kick in before this siren goes at the 24-minute mark here at Boronia, right in the middle of the ground. Begley on the ground. He's been on the ground for East Burwood, and now, of course, we see Mitcham about to make a move. They actually have made a move as Soapy Linney just takes one of his injured players over the bench, picked up by Shane Lundberg, a kick across towards Polar, picks it up, and he thumps it over his shoulder. Doesn't have much of a look, but he does find a player, and a handball, quick handball, puts him into attack now. Mitcham going up to looking forwards McCormick, but again Sutherland comes out, looks to Paul McInerney, finds him, and he's in front of Chapman at this stage. Feeds off a ball around the thing to Sutherland. Sutherland pursuing the ball too. So too is Rex Calhousen, and it's right on the overline out of bounds. Mario Vukic's come all the way from full back right down to the centre wing position, and they're all for chasing a kick now as Mitcham through Spader send the ball up again to the forward line. It hits the half forward line. Bailey just come on the ground. He's in there too. The umpire spotted something now and says it's a kick to East Burwood. So again, Mitcham not being able to keep the ball in the play for themselves. Leslie Ferguson, you pioneered this broadcast. Listen, old fella, why don't you take it home?
Thanks, Jimmy, and thank you very much for your help. Here's the last minute and a half of this grand final for 1992, and the ball's on the far side of the ground, and it's taken by the East Burwood player in McInerney. In he comes, or it could be Mutimer. Mutimer kicks the ball to the half-forward line. Here's the high-flying players. At the back of the pack was Randalls, but he misses. Here's the running players in the Mitcham and East Burwood. In there goes hard was Begley. Begley forces the ball out towards Tassing over the top of the pack. Here's the running players. There's 2 East Burwood players there. Oh, good football, son. And Arrowsmith clears the ball to the half-forward line. In they come hard over the top of the pack. Featherson hits the ball down. Diving on it beautifully was the East Burwood player to Featherson. Over the top to Begley. Here's Bailey. Bailey back to Begley. Begley going towards goal. Bang! And what's it done? It's off the side of the boot and through for 1 point. And the Commonwealth Bank scoreboard reads East Burwood 11 goals 7. Lead Mitcham 5 goals 10. And it's premiership to the East Burwood side for 1992. Here's the full-back in Arrowsmith to bring the ball back into play. It's been a great series. Here's the kick. It's up to the half-forward line. It's all Mitcham. In by good mark to young Randalls, who's played a great game, I reckon, for his size. He's only a young boy. Randalls onto the right foot, shoots it out here to the leading player in Mitcham. He overruns the ball. He's caught. Handballs back to the player in Umberg. He misses it. Coming through there hard was the East Burwood player. Handballs over the top. Here's Gleeson. Gleeson over to Bailey, and it's nearly time. 30 seconds to go in the 1992 Grand Final. You listen to the crowd roar. East Burwood's won the double premiership, the first time since 1968. Here's the boundary umpire to throw it in. Any second, the time. In there's Ferguson. Hits the ball down to the ground. The Chapman of Mitcham shoots it in there. In goes Alice. Play on, says the umpire. Diving on it, forces the ball out. Picked up by Chapman again. Picked up by there's the siren. And East Burwood won the premiership. The 1992 East Burwood premiers in 1992. 11 goals, 7. East Burwood defeated Mitcham 5 goals, 10. And they've won by
5-11.
5-11, sorry, Jimmy. And work that out what they've won by for me, will you? Look at the crowd. They're all... The Mitcham boys are very disappointed, but Graham Jacobs, what a wonderful return from getting beat in the second semi-final. East Burwood to taken out the 1992 Grand Final.
Few comments to the supporters there. Thank you, Bob.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives us great pleasure to congratulate East Burwood on a fine win, 1992 First Division champions. Well done. And I know that everybody will commiserate with Mitcham after a fine performance in very difficult conditions, a great club with fine traditions, and played the game out to the end. Congratulations, Mitcham, on getting here today. Commiserations on not winning. But I know that all of the East Burwood players, I can see the chief smiling. You love that last goal too. We today, disappointments of the last few years, is what it's all about. Congratulations on behalf of our major sponsors. I'll thank to everybody associated with East Burwood on a fine effort. You deserve your win, you deserve the premiership. You've represented us well today, and it gives me great pleasure now to call the players and turn up for their medallions.
Ladies and gentlemen, honour the East Burwood side for 1992, the great campaigner, the great ambassador for the Eastern District Football League, as well as your club, the East Burwood Football Club, Stewie Cook. Another player who's had extensive experience and another great ambassador for your club, as well as the EDFL, Neil Trollope. Stewie Bailey. Bruce Fox. Stephen Ellis. Stuart Jones. The player come from the juniors, Ryan McInerney. Recruited player Mark Gow. Danny Saunders. Greg Sutherland. Mario Vuki. James Begley. One of the top players, Chris Taffy. Number 37, David Munivar. Player number him play, Rex Ferguson. Number 40, Doug Gleason. Doug Gleason. Deputy Vice Captain, interleague player of great note, number 3, Johnny Benison. The Chief. Probably one of the best goals you'd ever see kicked in the second quarter was from number 28, Paul McInerney. Your Vice Captain, Gilbert Chandler, medalist, number 1, Stephen Clegg. Your runner, forward year, Jeff Hand. Head trainer, Neville Gent. 15, Neville Gent. Team manager, Alan Tynan. The chairman of selectors, John Sheridan. President of your club, Bob McDowell. Your captain and coach after last year, the award is his, Peter Nicholson. Ladies and gentlemen, the final act for this year is the presentation of the cup to Peter and to Bob. Everybody with East Burwood, it's well deserved. I know Peter was a bit tense before the game, he wouldn't talk to me then. I guess he'll shake your hand soon now, Les. Yeah. Mayor of East Burwood is here with us today, and I think it's certainly pretty good too. The President, Captain and Coach and Mayor of East Burwood just holds a cup aloft. Well done.
I'll probably forget someone, so remind me to make sure I include them later on. But to Mitcham, I don't know whether they can hear it, but thanks for the game. We had to pay back for the second semi, and it was something that we used to motivate us. The boys pulled together. We've had 20 contributors all year, and realistically we've had 45 players or whatever, and 44 players got medals today. To those blokes, well done. It's a top effort. We've worked hard all year, and after the disappointment of last year, we had something to prove. And the boys have worked hard. It's a culmination of 2 years. So Bobby and the committee, fantastic club. A small band of supporters, but everyone pulls together. And out in the ground, that's the way we play too. Everyone pulls together. And when you're trying for your mate, you know he's trying for you. To Shero and Norms, Valentine and Nifty, and everyone who, all the trainers, stragglers, Johnny Trollope rubbing us down. It's a small band of people who love the club, and they all help each other in a crisis. I suppose there's nothing more of a crisis than the grand final. commiserations to Mitcham and to us. We get to celebrate tonight. We've pulled off 2 premierships. It feels great. To my wife and daughter and my family, fantastic. And to God who has made this all possible, I've just got one more thing to say.
Tomorrow at the Ringwood Football Ground, where the Montrose Demons will take on the Clayton Magpies.